Welcome. Do you know if your residence is in a flood-prone area? Does your home insurance cover flood damages? Most do not. Don't learn the hard way. Join us for the next 5 minutes to hear about your options and get ahead of the water. Floods are the most common and costly natural disaster in the United States, but before 1968, insurance for flood damage was unavailable through private insurers. The National Flood Insurance Program, or NFIP, was created to fill this vacuum and continues to be a key source of federal disaster assistance for flood damages. The District of Columbia is a voluntary participant along with 22,000 other communities across the nation. Since 1969, the program has paid over $68 billion for flood insurance claims, helping hundreds of thousands of families and businesses recover from flood disasters. The NFIP is managed by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA. The program is responsible for improving floodplain management, providing flood insurance to participating communities, and developing maps of flood hazard zones. The Special Flood Hazard Areas, also known as Zone A or AE floodplains on the flood hazard maps, are the areas most likely to experience flooding during a big storm. SFHAs are susceptible to these big storm flood events with at least a 1% chance of occurring in any given year. This 1% annual chance of flooding is also referred to as the base flood or 100-year flood. In spite of the fact that a base flood has only a 1% chance of occurring in a given year, there's a 26% chance of a base flood occurring at some point over the course of a 30-year mortgage period. If you have a federally backed mortgage, as most mortgages are, and are within a 1% flood zone, you are required to hold NFIP insurance. The 1% annual flood has at least a 1 in 100 chance of occurring in any year. With an average recurrence interval of 100 years, it is often referred to as the 100-year flood. This does not mean that DC will have 100 years between each 1% annual chance flood, because floods happen irregularly. Due to climate change and sea level rise, floods that used to be considered 100-year events are happening more frequently. Whether you own your home or rent, it's a good idea to be aware of your flood risk zone and your flood insurance options. You can identify your flood risk using DC's online flood maps at dcfloodrisk.org. You may also visit www.floodsmart.gov for FEMA flood maps and products. To find out about your flood insurance options, call your insurance agent, the same person who sells your home, auto, or renter's insurance. Need help finding an insurance provider? Use the NFIP's insurance provider locator at www.floodsmart.gov/flood-insurance/providers. An NFIP policy may help pay to repair your home after flood damage. It may also help pay to replace your personal property inside your home, whether you rent or own, such as furniture, electronics, appliances, and clothing, provided they are stored on the first floor and above. Remember that homeowners and renters insurance do not typically cover flood damage. Living outside of a special flood hazard area does not mean your home can never flood. Flash floods, infrastructure failures, and storms even larger than the 100-year event can and do happen. Getting flood insurance, even if your home is not in the floodplain, can be an inexpensive way to reduce risk to your home and property. Congratulations! Knowing how flood insurance works and the way flood risk is assessed is an important step to reducing risks to your property and valuables. You are now better prepared to deal with the risks of flooding on your property. Consider your risk and the benefits of flood insurance to get yourself prepared.